Good morning. We'd like to open the meeting for the Middlebury Redevelopment Commission meeting for January 22nd, 2026. We'll come to order at this time. If you'll indulge me, we would like to make a couple of recognitions. First of all, we'd like to thank Mr. Chuck Teal for his many years of service on the Middlebury Redevelopment Commission. We would also like to welcome Mr. Lance Wyrick as our new commission member. Welcome, Lance.
Thank you.
Shelley, oath of office.
So we can just do this in one fell swoop. I don't know if you guys want to stand and raise your right hands and then just repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Gary Craig,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Indiana,
and the state of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
of Middlebury Redevelopment Commissioner
of Middlebury Redevelopment Commissioner
according to law
according to law
and the best of my skill
and the best of my skill
and ability.
and ability.
All right, that's it. Thank you, guys.
Now you're all official.
I passed it all out, and then there's a, paper there. Sorry you couldn't participate on.
Starting my life with this group.
Next would be roll call. Everyone is present with the exception of John Mansfield, who is absent. At this time, we would like to open the floor for nominations of officers. Just a reminder, again, anybody can nominate anybody. They can nominate themselves, as well as nominate anyone who is not here. So with that, the floor is open for nomination of officers.
I would like to nominate Gary Kripe as president of the Middlebury Redevelopment Commission.
Acknowledged?
That need a second.
No, we'll call for a close of the floor and then second that. Any other nominations? Again, you may nominate yourself or anyone present or not present.
We need a nomination for all spots.
Yeah, if it's all right, can we just
Yeah.
do them all at the same time?
Yeah. I would like to nominate Don Schuler as secretary for the Middlebury Redevelopment Commission.
So noted.
I'll nominate Mike Holloway as vice president.
So noted. Any other nominations before we close? Hearing none, I'm sorry?
No, I mean, I thought about nominating John for president, just because he's here, you know.
We should tell him he got
He's giving me so much, you know.
We should tell him he got at least one.
I know, so much stuff over the years for having to move the meeting time. I thought, you know, I could at least,
It's totally up to you.
no, I'm just kidding. You're good.
Okay, we would accept a nomination to close the floor for nominations at this time.
I'll make a motion that we close the floor for nominations of officers.
Motion's been made.
Second.
Don seconds. Any other further discussions or questions? Okay, so as it stands, nominations are Gary Kripe for president, Mike Holloway as vice president, Don Schuler for secretary. All those in favor of those nominations as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. The motion is passed. Those are your new officers. Next, minutes for the November 20th, 2025 meeting.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes for the November 2025 meeting as presented.
Motion's been made.
Second.
Don seconds. Any other questions regarding the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Motion passes. Public comments. The floor is now open for public comments.
You're it.
Okay, public comments are now closed. Old business, Resolution 2026-01, Downtown TIF Expansion. Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, late last year, I believe it was November, well, actually, I don't remember. Last year, we had passed the Resolution 2025-05, declaring that we had intended to expand the downtown TIF to, I believe, 4 or 5 parcels north of town here that were recently removed from the county's Middlebury East TIF district. That's really the only change. Otherwise, the plan and existing areas remain unaltered. This confirmatory resolution comes after the planning approval and the town council approval of the plan and proposed addition of real estate. And before we adopt the resolution, we need to have a public hearing, which was advertised in the Goshen News and was also various information statements and notices were filed with local county office, taxing agencies, and other parties required to be noticed by statute, including the property owners in that added area. If you have any questions on either the declaratory resolution or this confirmatory resolution, let me know.
At this time, we'd like to open for public hearing. We would take a motion for opening.
I'll make a motion that we open the floor for a public hearing on Resolution 2026-01 Downtown TIF Expansion.
We have a motion.
Second.
Don seconds.
I'd move to close the public hearing.
Don moves to close.
Second.
Mike seconds. Any further discussions? Hearing none. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes to close the public hearing. We would accept a motion unless somebody has any discussion or questions regarding the resolution.
I'd move that we adopt the redevelopment resolution number 2026-01 as presented.
Don motions to accept it.
Second.
Mike seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Update on 109 Grand Street soil investigation.
So I don't know whether they actually got it done yesterday. They were supposed to do take some soil samples of 109 Grand so that way we can find out what's there. So hopefully we'll hear back within a month or so after their testing. So.
Still in limbo then at the moment.
Yep.
Okay.
New business agreement with, I'm sorry, was there any other questions or discussion? New business agreement with Donahoe for water modeling update.
So Donahue is looking at updating our water model. We've had a lot of changes, a lot of growth over the last few years. And we want to make sure that we're doing some of the right things with regards to, with US 20, putting a new water main down it. And currently the water tower that's right there on US 20, we can't keep it turned over, especially in the wintertime. And so we're thinking that we'd like to possibly take that tower down while they're doing US 20 construction, so we didn't have to do it later. And then put another tower up more on the south side of town on Jayco's property somewhere. And then we're also looking at possibly, do we still need, with all the water towers that we have, do we still need the booster station, which is right at where water tower number 1 is on Lawrence Street that's getting replaced. So with all of that being said, in order to make those decisions, you got to have some type of water model to make sure that you're still keeping good pressure across the town. So the council has approved this proposal in the amount of $80,800. It's a time and material, not to exceed that amount. But they asked that I come to Redevelopment Commission and see if there was any consideration given to possibly paying for part of that fee. So that's why I'm here.
Well, it's not the only reason you're here.
I know.
So did and I can't recall sitting on the council and having slept a night or two since then. Did we, as a council, talk about or ask for a certain amount? Okay.
No.
Okay.
And which TIF district is this, you're proposing this to come from?
Or can it be spread out?
It could be spread out.
That was the other.
Yeah,
that was the
because
question I had.
there's been significant growth in every TIF, even the county TIF. With Mid-State Specialty Eggs on that south side, that's going to be a large water user. We've had a lot of industrial growth with Jayco and Coachman, and there's a large user with Dutch Country too. So, and I don't think that they're asking for all of it to be paid. They know that we need to keep up on that too. So
How many TIFs do we have total? And then what do how do
There's-
they balance?
there's two in the town. So if you look at, we can go to kind of the financial information that's in your packet. And the Elroy TIF, which is on the south side, that incorporates Jayco. That the current balance of that, as of the end of the year, was $4,243,000. Once you take all the projects that we have and the commitments that we have over the next year or two, I've subtracted everything out. You come up to a balance of $1,497,000. And that TIF generates about $2 million a year. It's 1.999.
So forgive me, just to clarify,
And
so
then,
you're proposing to split it between the town center, Elroy, southeast, and the east?
well,
those
I would
four?
have to go ask the county
Okay.
because the other two are county. So town center currently has almost $1 million. It has $996,000. That's the cash balance. After you subtract out all the projects, there would be $600,000 left. And then that one generates $400,000 a year. So the total would be just over $1 million. Middlebury East TIF, I don't have as good a numbers, but I'm pretty close with my numbers. Their cash balance for Middlebury East, which incorporates like Meyer and a couple like along this east side of town, that has 1.9 million in it. And once you subtract out everything, there would be about 600,000 in that one, and it generates 1.4 million. And then Middlebury Southeast, there's about 1 million. And so Middlebury Southeast is like where Crystal Heights is, and that general area there. There's 1.07 million. When you subtract out everything, the available balance would be 796, or about 800,000, and that one generates about 840,000 a year.
So again, just to clarify, were you wanting to do it between our two or
That's
between
the-
all four?
Well, that's the only ones that we have
We control.
control.
Right.
We'd have to ask the county.
Right,
for-
but I didn't know if you were wanting to split it or,
And I can go ask the county too.
And can the council So if the redevelopment commission pays whatever, or, agrees to pay a certain portion, does the town have the ability then to go to the county TIFs to draw or to ask permission to then pay the balance?
I wouldn't say pay the balance. We could ask.
Share.
They typically would ask for everything to be divided out
Yeah. So
evenly and proportionately.
example, if the redevelopment commission did 40,400, and that remaining 40,400 went to the county, would they do 20,200?
Well,
Are they likely to split it? To pay half out of the other two?
oh, they might. A lot of times what they do is they look at what their percentage is. Like,
Okay,
what is their percentage and of the area and how much growth and stuff. So they tend to do it on percentages,
okay,
not
Okay.
on necessarily
raw numbers.
yeah.
Okay.
How accurate do you think their project assumption that it's a maximum of 100 pipes that would be updated? That it's about 10% of the total number of pipes in the current model. I mean, in terms of pricing, is it like that you're gonna go up above the 88 because of?
Well, it says not to exceed, right?
Yeah, it's a not to exceed, and
Yeah, but
I
once
think
you
that we,
started it, you're gonna stop it?
yeah, we'll have to finish it.
Yeah.
It's always been my experience with Donahue that they've not come back for more money in their contracts. They usually leave some on the table, but there's always the first time. So, we have to have it put together. We have a really good solid base already started because we've took the Water Gems model that was already in place. We've given it to them. We tried to update it before we gave it to them, but tomorrow we have a meeting to go through and make sure that they've got everything that they need from us and that all of the pipes are in there. It's just making sure everything's connected, and we have like Bristol Street, that you go from a 6 to or actually you go now from an 8 to a 6 to a 4 back to an 8. It's all over the place out there, and that's why we have, that's another real reason that we also need to do the water model, make sure we're putting the right size in it. Should it be an 8 or a 10 is a question I have,
Or pressure maintenance and everything else, right? Yeah.
and volume.
Well, looking at the two TIFs that the town controls, I would be in favor of the RDC paying for half of that 80,800, and then having the council approach county for contributions from the county TIFs, and make up the difference.
Everybody helping out, each district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that in some way it gets spread over all of the TIFs.
Share the load.
Yep.
See any downside in that, Mary?
No,
No
we've done it
delays or-
before. We've gone and asked before.
Does that seem reasonable amount for the town to bear with help from the,
And the county might ask, the county redevelopment might ask, well, what is the actual, the town citizens putting in, not just the TIF districts. Because it is,
sure, benefits all residents? yeah.
right,
Part of the reason for it is because of the expanded industrial and
Correct.
commercial.
Yeah,
yep.
That residential growth to cause that type of, those issues.
Right.
does that mean you think that the RDC should contribute then a higher percentage of that 80,000?
Like a 75?
Because we would get, yeah,
75, 25?
because we would get, right, because of the pushback to having residents, that the growth is more industrial, not residential. That's a good point.
I just know that I've been asked that before,
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. Well, then so then for us, maybe, 600,600 would put us at that mark. Or we could round it up to, Well, I would like to make a motion that the RDC covers $60,600 of that $80,800, and with the assumption that the town will then work with the county to try to cover the other $20,200.
It's been made.
To clarify, would that be from the Elroy TIF or split?
I would say split between the two.
Yeah. I'll second it.
Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
Don seconds. Motion has been made. Any further discussions or questions regarding this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The motion passes. Thank you, Mary. Next item, 2026 list of potential projects and financials. And I know you covered the balances and everything. Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, so what I'm going to try to do every quarter is do a quarterly report. And that is in your packet too. Just giving you an update of what projects are in design, what projects are in construction, where we're at with those, and then any miscellaneous or completed projects. I kind of did that a little bit for Lance's benefit, just to know some of the stuff that we've just recently worked on.
Thank you.
And then there's potential future projects with estimated price tags. So I don't want to go through every one. If you have any questions on any of them, I'll answer whatever. And then, like I said, there is the financials. So I try to list like all the different projects up above this darker line here, and any associated costs that we know. And then there's a line for a cost to that specific TIF. And then once it's been approved to spend that money, then I put it down below. And that's where we get the running total. This is my very simple, I know it could be a lot more complex,
Oh,
but my very
Please,
simple
no. No, please, no. Keep it, yeah.
Yeah.
way of knowing and how to keep track of this. And then, so that is, like I said, I have a much better handle on the Elroy and the town center TIF, because those are the two TIFs that this board controls. Then the next two pages are the Elkhart County TIFs, and I do try to keep up on those, and I do go to quite a few of their meetings, just to make sure that we're keeping everything in balance. And then, and I also meet with the county engineers and the county redevelopment coordinator on almost a monthly basis, just so we can keep everything cohesive. And then at the very back is the new town map for this year of all the different construction projects that we have going, and then the future ones to come. So this will go in the newsletter, the quarterly newsletter that'll go out, I think in May, either April or May, to let everybody know what's going on. But we got it done ahead of time so that way I can start sharing.
Mary, may we just say, again, thank you so much for, again, all your accounting and everything. And again, I know over the years that I've been on the commission, it's been very helpful to know your priorities or the town's priorities. I think it makes it feel like we're able to make better decisions knowing what projects, future projects and current projects are currently under construction. So thank you.
Yeah, it helps putting it on paper.
Well, for most of us, it does.
Yes, by all means, please keep it simple.
Yeah. No, this is good information.
Any other questions regarding potential projects and the financials?
This was underneath the miscellaneous projects, but is there any next steps as a result of the parking study downtown?
So there have been some people asking about some of the merchants asking about town purchasing that house that's on the corner of Berry and State, because they would like to see that be parking. The price keeps dropping,
It
but we
is.
can't really move that fast.
It's my understanding it's now under contract, so
Is
it
it?
is, again, believed to be pending at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was looking at, I'm trying to, the map or whatever, but, I mean, their conclusion was a 162 parking spot deficit.
162 deficit,
Yeah.
and we
Seems-
lose some in 2030 or whenever they do 13.
That's a lot of cars. To
Yeah,
say that,
and
that
I
we have a
think-
deficit for. I was kind of surprised by how high that number was.
Yeah, I think that a lot of it also has to do with horse and buggy. That seems to be the real struggle right now.
Because that 162 deficit includes buggy parking. Yeah.
I think that that's the way I understood it, but
Well, me too.
I could be wrong. So that's a little bit of the struggle right now.
Yeah, it's hard because, I mean, when reading through that study, it talked about the highest point of conflict is basically over that lunch hour, 10 a.m. to 1, and so some of it is that not to dump on the people that don't live here but work here, but that seems to me that may be an issue because of that influx of during the day that doesn't exist.
Right.
Right.
Because I'd be curious whether or not there's parking issues in the evenings, more for the residents, but I don't know.
My biggest concern is once State Road 13 is reconstructed and we lose all the parking on Main Street. That's where I'm really concerned. Because that's quite a few spots. And it's important. I mean, you've heard me say this before. I believe that the downtown is your heart of if you relate it to a body, it's the heart of your community. So everything flows out of that. And I believe it's important that we take care of it. But that's my opinion.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like now we've got some local businesses on board to come alongside and help us, that if the opportunities arise to partner with the town in acquiring properties, you know, for future parking expansion. So again, the talks have been there and the communication. So again, when the opportunities arise, you know, need to take those opportunities. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well,
Because we had business come to us about the current listing. If we would.
Yeah, and I think that they were willing to buy it, but they wanted a commitment from the town that we were going to reimburse them. And we don't have anything in place.
And that's why, like I said, I'd be curious of what the dynamic is at the parking almost, like I said, at different times of the day. Because in terms of the residents, this is that tension between the residents and the businesses, but, I mean, you know, you put in a parking lot somewhere or whatnot, and then it's just sitting empty in the evenings. I don't know that does a whole lot for the community either in terms of
Right.
the heart of the
Right.
downtown. So
Yeah.
I haven't read through the entire report yet, but it didn't seem like there was any distinction about that difference, and I just was curious, you know, something to look as there's continued discussions, it's understanding there's a difference in Middlebury at, you know, parking and traffic-wise at noon and 2 o'clock than there is at 6 and 7 o'clock at night,
Right.
so.
Right. Yeah, personal anecdotal evidence is a big difference. You know, when the times are booming, you know, try to pull out a Coachman's property, good luck. I mean, I did that for 4 years. But, you know, come down at 5, and, I mean, the world's your oyster.
It's the same thing here.
Yeah, it's, you know, so, right, but it's, you know, but you go downtown at 5 o'clock. I mean, I've never experienced a parking issue later in the day. It's that midday. The early morning traffic is just that, it's traffic, right, isn't parking. But it is that lunchtime.
And for those of us that park downtown, we know to check, first that east lot and then behind the library and, then the library and, so we kind of have our go-tos when certain lots are filled or certain parking areas are at capacity, so we have those backups. And I know the bank has said too, that after hours, they're welcome, to park there. So it's, again, very, very much appreciated.
Right.
Yeah, I park there, welcome or not.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding. So you mentioned earlier about not having a mechanism in place, but not if a piece of property opens up and either a single merchant or a group of merchants would say, listen, we're willing to, jump on this faster than anybody else. As far as I understand, we don't have to meet just once a month. We can call a meeting, correct? Right, Jackson? So,
Yep, just a
so I would,
48-hour notice.
yeah, so 24 hour, said?
48.
48.
So I would say, as we discuss with the merchants, say, listen, the RDC's willing to consider and can meet within, 48 hours. So if that opportunity arises and you bring it to us, please, make it known. You bring it to Jackson or Gary and bang, we can, right? I mean, we can move speedier than once a month.
And if they had a more formal mechanism on their end, some redevelopment commissions work with like local economic development corporations. If it's a nonprofit, then it really helps, I think, on one end, public perception, it's a nonprofit, local group of business owners, and it actually increases our ability to work with them. If they're qualified under the statutes, there's certain, it makes, what would it be? It makes working with them easier for us too.
Could it also be something like if it wasn't like a formal EDC, could it be like some sort of nonprofit merchants group where, 6 or 8, merchants have banded together and said, we're a, whatever?
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with all the related criteria
Okay.
for that, but, I mean, even that would help, I think.
Yeah.
Because it,
Formalizes
yeah, like if, for example, in the reimbursement situation, or whatever you want to call it, really, they buy a place and they want to sell it to redevelopment. We already have reasonable flexibility in purchasing real estate, so, but if it was like an economic development corporation or a nonprofit local development corporation, I mean, that money can then go into the pot, and then they can continue doing what they're doing. It doesn't have to be limited at that one thing, and then they can keep rolling it over with that, It might require somewhat of a
Seed money.
initial seed investment, but that can,
Well, and I'm not sure how it worked back when, but I just ran across some paperwork or cleaning some files, and Middlebury Development Corporation, they must have developed the land that was down where, like Elroy Drive and Industrial Park. I don't know if at some point the Development Corporation purchased that land and developed it and then sold. But I found the deed or transfer deed for Ziggity, and it came from Middlebury Development Corporation. So
Do
yeah,
you
I'm
know
learning.
if it,
I'm learning stuff.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, the more you dig, right?
Yeah.
Do you, personally, do you know if any of those merchants would be willing to discuss creating like an EDC?
I
or-
think that yeah. I mean, they're wanting to do something.
Yeah,
And that way they could even possibly, discuss their issues that they're having amongst themselves and bring them
right,
as a unified force.
yeah.
So,
Well, I think that would certainly benefit them as a merchant group. And for them to know that, that the redevelopment commission doesn't have to sit, idly by and wait till the next month's meeting. We have the ability to meet sooner, particularly because properties don't sit, as we just learned, right? So if they knew that they have the possibility for us to consider stuff sooner, that might give them the onus to say, hey, here's our plan, come to, with a plan. Not just say, hey, you know, and then just let it, so, it seems like right now it just sort of filters through the grapevine. And as Jackson mentioned, the more formal it is, the easier it is to make decisions and work with it,
Right.
so,
I'll reach out to them.
okay? That'd be helpful, for them and us.
Any other discussion, questions? If not, our next redevelopment commission meeting Thursday, February 26, 2026 at 7 a.m. And we are adjourned.